Welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about our new project, the Chic Antique Retreat House, a home that was built in 1685 with a ton of old character and charm. And we're going to walk through the plans of how we're going to be renovating it and reconstructing it for modern living, but still keeping the beauty and character of its heritage and roots. So today we're going to focus mostly on reconfiguring the floor plan and also talking about paint color selections and how we're going to refinish the floors. Refinishing the floors in an old home with multiple rooms with multiple different floor types can be quite challenging. So hopefully going through the process of how we did it will be helpful for you. So come on in and let's get started. So after reconfiguring the floor plan, we had to frame up everything and do the sheetrock and just get everything in place. In terms of the layouts and everything for the bathrooms, I'm gonna go more in depth in that in another video. But for today, the next choice that we had to make was thinking about paint color for all the rooms of the home. So we started with the kitchen. For some reason, the cabinet color was kind of the choice. I had that vision in mind, and then I just kind of wanted to choose that color and then kind of do the rest of the house around that. So I wanted kind of a grayish cabinet color. It was quite an extensive process, so here's my thought process while we were going through it. Okay, so we're testing out some paint samples today. We have Simply White, which I'm thinking to do on the walls. And then there's this Litchfield Gray color. I'm gonna try it. I don't think I like this color. What color is this? The new white. Shadow white, let's say. This is the creamy white. I think it's a little too yellow. So far, I think I like the shadow white. I think I like this one.
Okay.
And then choosing the colors for the rest of the home. Upstairs, I just wanted to keep it very serene, very light and airy. I didn't really want to complicate things. So we just did Simply White everywhere upstairs. And then downstairs, I wanted to have more weight, more grounding in some of the rooms. So when we purchased the home, there was this really beautiful like robin's egg blue in the dining room. And that felt very time appropriate. So I wanted to keep that color, and then all of the other choices, we were sort of in this like blue palette. So that's what I kind of was working off of. So then in the den, we painted the wood a rich, darker blue. And then in the office, I just wanted to go really moody with that. So we did, and I just find it really cozy. And now we've actually transitioned that office space into an additional bedroom, and it's really super cozy as well. The next thought process was for the main open living space with the huge fireplace, really wanting to keep the character of the old wood, the old beams, not paint over that, but it did feel very heavy, very dark. So I did want to lighten it up a bit. So what we ended up doing was keeping a lot of the old wood, especially around the fireplace and the beams, so it has that weight, and kind of adding the white paint to brighten it, and it almost acts as like a frame or a focal. It enhances the wood that is there, as opposed to when it was only wood, it was very heavy and you couldn't really appreciate the wood as much, in my opinion. Then we changed the door opening. It used to be there, and we made it here so we can enter through this door and then go directly into a mudroom. Thinking about staining the floors, as I mentioned, was extremely challenging because all the rooms had different floors. Some were oak, some were pine, some were 100 years old, some were from the 70s. So getting those all in a cohesive vein was extremely complicated, but it was kind of trial and error, and I actually did go through 3 floor guys trying different samples. It was really challenging, but in the end, I was super happy with how it came out. We did have some hiccups in the main space. We had to do that room twice, unfortunately, but we did end with this really cohesive color. So yeah, I was really happy with that. So we did some color samples on these floors. This is 3 parts provincial, 1 part Jacobean, which is what we did downstairs. I think that looks good. And then one of the final choices was in the landing upstairs. As I mentioned, all the different woods. The landing space was a new pine, I think it was like a red pine, not beautiful wood. So we decided to go with a painted floor in this diamond pattern that really kind of unifies the space. It adds this element of character. Keeping the color scheme, we used the kitchen wall color and the trim of the living room in the diamond pattern, so kind of bringing those colors upstairs. And I really love how that came out. And then another thing we did was, as you come up the stairs to the 2nd floor, you know, there's the landing. And on the landing, originally there was this huge clunky stairs up to the attic, which is mostly just storage at the moment. It's not really quite usable. So, and these stairs are kind of taking up the whole landing space. So what we did was we just cut back the first section of the stairs, and then it just made the walking space much more seamless between the bedrooms. So the 2 main bedrooms, the 2 larger main bedrooms, had the really old wood, and those were really priority for me to save. They had been sanded and refinished so many times. This was really our last shot to get it right. So I'm super happy with the color, this like really rich, deep color. And then the other 2 rooms, those were still an older wood, but a newer wood. So the color was a bit of a lighter color. So having the landing be this painted diamond pattern kind of tied them all together and made it all make sense. And then in the bedroom that used to be connected to the primary originally, I think there were strips. They didn't really have a floor in there. It was a carpet, I don't recall. The floors in the attic were an old wood. So what we did was we took the floors from the attic and we put it in that bedroom, and then we refinished that floor so it was able to be consistent with the rest of the home, and I really love how that turned out. Well, that's all for the tour today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did and want to keep up to date with what's to come, like, subscribe. If you have any questions or comments about the process, if you want to know more about materials or choices or resources, please let me know in the comments and I'd be happy to share. So looking forward to continuing to share the journey with you. And until then, have a wonderful week and see you next time.